Hello guys, this is the second video tutorial in our game development video tutorial series. So we have just created a project in the previous video. Now I'm going to continue my development in this game. So I have decided to create a home page first for my game, and as you can see, I'm going to scene folder right here, and I have a scene called sample scenes. I'm going to just rename this. Right click, rename. I'm going to use this scene as my home page, so I can design whatever the way I want to design my home page in this scene. So let's see, I want to put a background, and I want to add a button called play and some pictures as well. So I want to design those things, buttons, pictures and backgrounds. To do that, I'm using Adobe Illustrator. So I want to download Adobe Illustrator. Let me show you how to do that. Okay, to download Adobe Illustrator, go to getintopc.com website. This is the website, and search Illustrator, and you can see several versions for Illustrator: 2023, 22, 21. I'm using actually 2020 version, but I don't think it is gonna be a problem if you use 2023 or 2022, but I will show you how to do this in 2020. Alright, so just click the link and you can download this software right here, and you can see there are some instruction video. You can follow the guideline. It's really simple. It's not a big deal. Just download the software, and after you download it, you can open the software. I'm opening Adobe Illustrator right now. Alright, you will see a view like this. I have some recent files. In your case, you might not see them. Alright, next, create new. Alright, you might not see this view. To get this view, just go to edit, preferences, general, and in here you must tick this use legacy file new interface. Sometimes the default way won't come correctly, so you have to use the legacy way, the old way. Alright, okay, now create new. I'm using 9020 1080 resolution, custom size, RGB, 300 ppi. Alright, hit OK, but before that, put a name. Let's say jumping bird components. Alright, okay. So I have just created a new Illustrator file. Right now I'm going to save this by Ctrl S, and I'm going to choose my location is to be my project. So every files you are using to build this game, you can save those files in your project. So how to get your project path? Just click this assets folder, right click, and go to show in Explorer. Okay, so this is the path. Just copy the path, go to Illustrator, paste it right here, and you can save the file in here. I'm going to save that file. Okay, Okay, so you must do this before you doing anything in your Illustrator file, so that your data won't be lost. Alright, first I'm going to draw a background, a simple one. I'm not gonna talk in details in this tutorial series, because this is not a Illustrator one. This is a Unity video tutorial series, but I will show you some of the tricks. So I'm going to select this rectangle tool, and I'm going to just drag it like this, so I can make a background for my game. I'm just improvising my background. Let's think, what kind of background would I want? Okay, let's say something like this. I'm going to put a gradient color to this. To do that, window, gradient. You can see the gradient one here. Just click this square and gradient will apply to your box. And I'm going to choose the angle to 90, and I'm going to switch it, reverse gradient, like this. Okay, let's say my bottom color would be a color like this, and my upper color would be a color like this, but this is kind of dark one, so I need to light this up. So I'm just clicking this again, and color, go to HSB, and I can do it like this. Again with this, do it like this. But I don't think this color is matching, so let's say green. All right, this is my background. I'm going to remove this stroke. If you can't see this panel right here, you can go to window and something like control. You can go to control. But first I want to tell, if you have any other questions regarding these steps that I'm doing, you can ask them on me in my Discord server. All right, so this is my background, but I'm going to add some graphic to this. I'm going to add some circles with this panel, and I'm going to change the color to white, a little bit of opacity, transparent, and just press Alt and drag, Alt and drag, Alt and drag. I can resize them, press Alt Shift like this, Alt Shift. Alright, I think this is a pretty cool background for now. I'm just improvising. Alright, I don't have anything in my mind right now especially. I'm going to select all of these, and I want to cut out these outer parts. To do that, I have selected all, and I'm going to shape builder tool. Just click these parts right here, and I can see a little part in here. I can't see it right now. I have to zoom it, press Z, and you can just drag mouse up and down. Then again, shape builder tool, cut that part. Alright, now select those part individually like this, and just hit delete. Now I have just created a background to my game. I'm going to place it here, and I want to build a quick play button. To do that, I'm going to choose again rectangle tool. I'm going to draw a button like this, and some stroke. It will give you it will give the shape, border, some thickness, and go to this tool. It called direct selection tool, and you can see these dots. Just click one of the dot and drag it like this, so you can make a curve in the edge, slight curve. Pretty cool, right? All right, then I'm going to give a color to this object. Let's say I want to make blue color. I'm going to double click this and make a color like this. All right, now let's add another rectangle over here. These are just tips that I found to design components like buttons. I'm going to put white in this rectangle, and I'm going to remove this stroke and just go to selection tool and just rotate this like this and put an opacity. Then again, shape builder tool. First select both, shape builder tool, remove these outer parts. All right, now I have just created a simple button. There are plenty of tutorials about you can learn how to design these things in Illustrator on YouTube. I'm going to choose the polygon tool, double click, and 3 slides so I can make a rectangle. I will rotate this like this. Also, you can rotate it precisely to 90 degrees from properties, and you can see the angle 90 like this, and you have to flip this. You can do a horizontal flip like this. All right, I want to place this in the center. Okay, so let me adjust this like this, and I'm going to cut this little part from shape builder. Draw another box. That will be easy. Just a thick box like this, and use this tool. Then click this. It will give the same color as this box to the small one. And again, select all, shape builder, remove these parts. Alright, so this is my play button. Yeah, I can work with this. Alright, now I'm going to export these two graphic elements to my game. To do that, select the first one, right click, export selection, rename this. I'm going to rename it to background 1 because I might be using some other background, so I can rename them as 2, 3, 4 as well. So select it, and this is my export location right now, but I can't put those files in the root folder. I have to create another folder to save all my images. I'm going to create a new folder in asset folder, create. I'm going to rename this as resources. Alright, there is a reason that I put this name, and I will tell the reason in next tutorials, in the upcoming tutorials. Alright, so this is my folder and I'm going to save my images into this folder. Go to show in Explorer again to grab the path to the folder, copy it, go to Illustrator and change the folder path like this. Resources, click the resources, select. Alright, now I'm going to select the format as PNG. Alright, I'm going to hit export asset. Now you can see the after you export your file, a new Explorer will pop up and you are in your resources folder and you can see a folder called 1x. Go to that folder, click cut this image, Ctrl X, go back again and paste it on resources folder. Again do the same thing to button, select, right click, export. Let's say play button. You don't have to do these things again, just export. Again go to 1x, cut, go back. Alright, I have created my background and my play button. I haven't created a title yet. I have another video tutorial how to make a proper title to your game. I will put the link in the description to that tutorial. You can follow that tutorial to make a title to your game. So now I'm going to my Unity and it will do some things because you have externally import some images to your project. Alright, now when I go to my resources, I can see my these two files. When I click the file, you can see the inspector view in here. This is the view of any object that if that object has any properties, those properties will be shown in this inspector view. So in this case, I have selected a texture file. We call it an image. So the texture type is sprite, 2D and UI, and sprite mode is single. So you can see some of these details when you click an image. Alright, now how you can position these in scene, let me show you. It is really simple, just drag and drop. It is that simple. Alright, now paste it like this and it will rename to the name of the image. I can stick with that and click the background one object. We call this is an game object. This is a game object. Alright, so Unity uses these game objects to as a real world object. Let's say you have a real world object called man. So in Unity you can create a man with a game object. Alright, I will explain it later in upcoming tutorials. Alright, so when you click this game object, you can see some of the properties in the inspector panel. It has a transformation value set and it has a sprite render value set. If I click this tick, it will disappear because now the image it's not working. Alright, and if you want to change the image inside this, you can select this sprite and you can select an image from this list. Alright, so this is how you can put your background. I'm going to resize this. I can press shift to resize this. Alright, Okay, then I'm going to place my play button, but before I do that, I'm not going to just drag it onto my scene view, because it is not just an image, it is a button. Background is just an image, so you can do the thing just like the drag into your scene, but you can't do it with play button. Actually you can, but I would not recommend it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and I'm going to press UI, and I can create these UI elements in my game. I have button, I have text, I have images. I'm going to select button, text mesh pro. Alright, so you have to import this text mesh pro plugin to this. I'm going to import essential. Alright, then import tmp example and extras. Alright, so now it is done. And as you can see, when I create a new button, it will also create a new canvas. So I'm going to double click my canvas. So when you create a UI elements, all the UI elements in your game will be in a canvas. Canvas is a one thing and camera is another thing. These two are working as two views, two separate views. So your character and your trees, the graphic elements such as stones, bushes, those things you use in your game will render in the camera view, and all the UI components such as pop-up messages, buttons, text, and other UI elements will be rendered in canvas view. So you must understand these two views, one camera and one in is canvas. So you will get a canvas when you create a UI element. Alright, I'm going to select button, and as you can see, my button is very small. I'm going to fix that. Go to canvas, and in here you can see this canvas scaler, UI scale mode, constant pixel size. I'm going to change it to scale with screen size. What it does is that whatever the size of the mobile device you are using to play this game, it will readjust with your screen size. Alright, so it is really helpful to use this game in different size of mobile devices. Then I'm going to press again button, just zoom it out by wheel. You can use mouse wheel to do this, and you can see your button. Press this move tool. You can this move tool to move your component. I'm going to bring it right here, but it is still small, and I'm going to use this scale tool to scale this up like this. Alright, as you can see, when I scale this up in the property panel, also you can see in the scale section it is increasing, it is showing the increase and decrease. Alright, there is another way you can do this. Just put the scale in 1 and just increase the width and height like this. I'm going to set width to let's say 350 and to height 150. Alright, but I can't see the text inside my button. You don't have to worry about that. Just expand this button, and you can see the text component inside the button. You don't have to use this text now because it is just a button with an icon. Just hit the delete button and then click the button again to change the image. Go to image section and click this source image and search play button. You can resize the view with this. I'm going to hit play button. Alright, so I have just positioned my play button. I'm going to set the position X to 0. It will bring the font into the middle, and Y position is 420 right now. I will do something like this. First, let me show you what is how this gonna look in another resolution. I'm going to put the resolution into like this. All right, then let's see something like this. Okay, there is no much of different, but I will tell you something to do. When you put a component like this, you should think how your component should resize with different type of scales. Let's say my button should have a fixed length from the bottom line. With the bottom line, from the bottom line to my button gap should be a constant size. Let's say you want to do that. So what you have to do is you can change the anchor preset to bottom. Now the position will be calculated from this bottom line to your button. If I say 0, now it is on the bottom line. When I say 100, it is now, it has the 100 of length from your button middle to bottom. And if I say 300, now it has a constant length from your button middle to bottom. All right. But I'm thinking I should have a title to this game. So I'm just gonna create a quick title. Go to Illustrator, text, resize this, just press shift and you can resize it. And I'm gonna rename this jumping bird. All right, I'm gonna change the font. First I'm gonna select this, and you can see in the properties panel, change the font. Just use your up and down arrow keys to see the difference. Let's say a good font for my game. This is kind of fancy one. You can download fancy fonts from online. Just search Google for download fancy fonts. Alright, this is kind of cool font. Show card Gothic, the font name is. Okay, I'm using this font. Let me do some adjustment to this. So what we can do, let's think. Okay, I'm going to change the color to gradient. Alright, you can't do a gradient to a text in this form. You have to go to object and expand this text and select object plus fill. Okay, now you can apply a gradient. Let's say I want a gradient like this, and these are not the color I wanted. I'm just improvising. Okay, you can adjust these things, and you can see what feels right to you. And I'm going to add a shadow to this text as well. Go to effect, styles, and drop shadow. I'm gonna change the x offset to 0 and little bit of y, little bit of blur. All right. Then a stroke maybe. Let's say a white one. All right, pretty simple. I'm gonna export this. Right click, export, game title, export again, game title, go to Unity. You can see the game title, just drag it over here. But before that, I want to do something else. I'm gonna undo this. I have used my background in the camera view, but I want this component is to be a UI elements. This is not a UI element still. If you want to make this a UI element, you have to put this in the canvas. But I'm not going to drag this direct into canvas. Instead of that, I'm going to create a new image inside the canvas. I want to say one thing again. When you use an image inside the canvas, it will call an image. All right. But when you use an image in the outside of the canvas, like this right now, it will called a sprite. All right. So sprite is the images that you are using in camera view, and images are the image that you are using in the canvas view. Okay, so as you can see, button is also an image and background is also an image, but when you come to the image properties in the background, it is called sprite render, and in the button it is called image. All right. Okay, I'm gonna create a new image inside my UI canvas like this. Zoom it out, or otherwise I can double click this. Okay, now I'm gonna resize this like this. But when you put a proper background, you can do a thing like this. Just go to this anchor preset and click this. This will spread your background in entire all over the entire scene, so you don't have to worry about the screen size you are putting this game on. In every screen size, the image will adjust to the screen. Now I can say left is 0, top is 0, everything is 0. All right, now I'm gonna remove this one. I don't need this. I'm gonna just delete this, and I can't see the button. I'm going to drag this like this so I can see it now. So if you want some component to be in upper level, you have to put this in the bottom in the hierarchy. Then I'm going to image, change the sprite to background. Okay, so this is the proper way to do this. Now I can drag my game title. Sorry, I can't drag my game title because it will make the game title to a sprite. If you want it to become a UI element, you have to create a canvas image. All right, let me show you the different. When I create an image inside the canvas, you can see it, but when I drag it, actually you can't see it. because it is not creating inside the canvas, it is create in the world space. We call it it is the world space. That is what camera is rendering. Camera is rendering the world space, so you can't drag things into UI. So I'm gonna delete this, and I'm creating a new image manually. Then I can change source image to my title like this, and I can adjust the size. Okay, I think this will do the work. Then I'm going to rename these objects as well. It will help you to identify them. Background, and this is game title. Alright guys, this is the end of the second video tutorial. You can ask any questions regarding this tutorial on my Discord server. I will put the link in the description. Also, you can ask any questions if you have anything in your mind, any doubts, in the comment section as well. Alright guys, I will see you in the next tutorial. Have a good day.